everyone, welcome back to another Questions February video. I am Joe, your host, and today I want to talk about the difference between great, small, and average minds. Actually, it would be small, average, and great minds. Now, if you are a follower on Patreon or a subscriber on Patreon, I've already talked about this on there. If you're not, still love you, but I actually do have an entire video series that goes out just to Patreon supporters. It's not quite on the same topics that I talk about here on the regular channel, but it covers some of the similar ground and things that I find interesting, and this was one of those things. So here's how it all works. There's this quote that I've heard for a while. It's been around for a really long time. It was actually come up with by Eleanor Roosevelt way back when Eleanor Roosevelt was around. And it basically says this. It says that great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, and small minds discuss people. And this has been something that I've really internalized lately, and I've found it to be really helpful in a lot of different ways. For one thing, I've noticed that people that I generally respect, just automatically respect in a deep way, I've noticed that they tend to discuss ideas. They don't talk about other people. There's not a lot of gossip going on with them. And there's something very respectable about that. It really lends you to having a bit more gravitas in the way you go about in the world and whatnot. And it's something that I've tried to implement myself in my life, in that whenever I find myself maybe discussing somebody, or if I'm talking in a conversation, by the way, if there's some noise in the background, it's my dog. I had to let her in the room because she destroyed a chair downstairs yesterday. So now I have to keep an eye on her at all times because she's in that phase. Anyway, so I apologize for that noise. The point being, I've really found that when I'm in conversations with people and I hear them going into gossipy territory, talking about other people, I try really hard to steer it into a conversation about ideas, because I feel like that's just a more adult way to be in the world. And it's more interesting to me. It's more big picture thinking. You know, if somebody were to say, oh, this guy, he always gives me lip and he's always causing us trouble and blah, blah, blah. It's really easy to just get into, oh yeah, that guy's a dick, man, I can't stand that guy. You know, it's really easy to do that. What's more interesting, though, is to step back and be like, isn't it sort of a human thing that this guy needs to do this to fill some void in his personality or in his psyche? It not only, to me, creates a more interesting conversation, and it's obviously a less gossipy and more just good-hearted way to go out in the world. I also feel like it opens up opportunities to understand and to create a deeper sense of, well, I keep going back to the word understanding, with people, because you're not on the surface level, you're going deeper. And you can understand people's motivations, you can understand their pain, and it helps you to be a better person in their life. Even if they don't deserve for you to be a better person in their life, it's still up to you to be that better person. So that's really all I wanted to discuss. Was simply, oh, I'm making noise on the microphone, sorry about that. It's just simply the idea of staying in thinking about ideas. Great people think about ideas. Small people talk about other people. And there's a way to not be so small-minded. So some of you might be saying, well, I tend to gossip, or people I love tend to gossip. Not necessarily saying that they're small minds or that they're small people, but they're being small-minded. And you can break out of that and be bigger-minded and think in a bigger picture. So that's what I wanted to discuss with you today, and I'm trying to keep this a bit shorter. Some of these have gone really long, and I've gotten some feedback on that. So I'm going to go ahead and just wrap this up right now. And typically I would go in and read some comments from yesterday's video, but again, in the interest of keeping this shorter, to see how possibly this works with people, I'm going to spare that, but I will respond to the comments yesterday. I actually got a lot of really great comments on yesterday's video, which was about the 1800s possibly being a period of human history where more advancement took place than today. there's a really good discussion going on there. If you haven't seen that video, I definitely suggest checking it out. I might make a regular video out of that, honestly. I think it's gotten that kind of feedback, which is awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop the live stream. For those who are watching after the fact, so the video will just end there for you. But for those of you that are in the live chat, I'm going to stop the live stream, but I'm going to join you in the live chat and we can discuss for just a little bit. I do have some work to get to today, so I can't be on here too long. But for the interest of keeping this a short, concise, interesting video, I'm going to cut it off from there. Share what you think in the comments. Share ways that maybe you have made yourself think more greatly than otherwise. Share what you think about this whole idea. If you think it's bunk, fine. And we'll discuss it later. But I appreciate you watching. For those at home, have a good one. Love you guys. Take care.